Welcome back to Remembering Smallville,
a Smallville rewatch podcast.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Brett.
Good morning, everybody. Good evening. Good afternoon.
Hello, listeners.
Whatever time of day it is.
Yeah, I don't care when you listen, just listen.
Yeah. So, to open our season finale long episode, I have some news.
Oh?
What have we been talking about besides Smallville, obviously?
Twilight?
Yes.
Oh.
So, Daniel was telling me about a book series that he wanted me to read. And I was like, I just don't have time for another book on my plate right now. He goes, what if I read it to you? And I was like, you'll sit next to me while I'm doing my craft and you'll just read the book to me out loud like an audiobook, my own personal audiobook. And he goes, yes. And I was like, okay, if you do that, I'm going to read Twilight to you because you've never read Twilight. And he agreed.
What? Oh my gosh.
So-
Hold on. How many books are in the series that he's going to read to you?
A lot.
Well, it depends on how far we get. So the book I'm reading to her is Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind.
Yes.
It's so
such a
good.
good book.
That's
And
why I
so,
agreed because he was
I
like,
don't
Brett
know-
and Kim loved it. And I was like, okay, I'll try.
We'll see how she feels at the end of Stone of Tears.
So we're going to be honest with you. Both of us had to stop reading it. It is so good, but really intense.
It gets brutal. And so she's been reading Twilight to me.
So Daniel, tell us.
Wait, so do you switch off?
Yeah.
I thought after.
So-
No. We had to do it simultaneously because
Yeah, it would take too long.
Yeah, it'd be too much. Well, just like because then also your voice gets tired. So
Yeah.
he read a couple chapters and I'd read a couple chapters, and we're just working our way through
There may have been a couple nights where we're up till like 3 a.m. reading to each other.
Oh
like
my
nerds.
gosh.
That is so
Babe,
cute.
When our kids are grown, we will do this.
So there's some funny things about it. And
about Twilight.
well,
Please
Nicole
tell.
reading Twilight to me is a very different experience than I think anyone could ever get with Twilight themselves.
Does she do voices?
Kind of.
Not really.
So
Because my voice is one soprano note the whole
Yeah.
time.
She
My
does-
Edward's just like this. Bella. Just kidding. It's not
not even that low. She doesn't change her voice that much for each character, but she does inflect things different or speak a little differently. But the biggest thing is that Nicole allows her personality to come heavily through while she's reading. And
Is that a good thing?
It's a really good thing. I think it vastly improves the book.
Oh, that's awesome.
First of all, the book is better than the movie by far. That's
Anyway.
not a high bar.
Wait, pause. This is a momentous occasion.
Exactly.
Daniel just admitted the book is better. We knew this. We just needed him to hear it. Oh, I'm so happy.
Anything's better than an absolute turd, right?
Oh my
I know.
gosh. Yes, we just watch it because we love the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Bella, first of all, is far more interesting.
Yes.
And there's way better dialogue. I was pretty happy that 99% of the cringe dialogue from the movie is not even in the book at all.
It's
Yes.
not cheesy, right? Like it's believable, I think.
I think they're both insane. Bella,
I'm reading it now with my 35-year-old eyes, and I'm like, stop saying this.
and that's the best part about it. She'll be reading, and then all of a sudden she'll be like, oh, you psychopath. And then keep reading.
like when we were reading it, and she was saying to herself that she was in love with him, and I was like, oh wait, why? You don't know him. But I was like, but at the same time, I was that girl that
Yes.
was like, I'm in love, and you're like, you can say whatever words you want to say and feel whatever you want to feel, but that's what you're feeling isn't love.
Yeah.
Sit down.
Factual.
Sit down, go take a cold shower.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
as a parent, right, of a teenager, when you see TV shows like Smallville or you're reading a book like Twilight and you see these teenagers having these extreme emotions, you roll your eyes because as an adult, you're like,
You
this
don't
is
really
so
know
painful.
what love is. You say you are in love. You don't know.
No.
You
Not
feel
until
about
you've
as strongly
experienced
as you can.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Yeah, like it's
Mentally.
It's the best you can do, but it's not love.
here's the thing that is fun about Nicole reading Twilight to me is that, I don't know, just something about how she reads it. I can't explain it. You have to know Nicole as well as I do. And I'm pretty sure I know Nicole better than anyone else in the world. And so what comes out of her reading Twilight is far more exciting than if another reader read it to me or if I was reading it myself. And so I'm actually enjoying it because of her. And it's funny too, because I honestly think Stephanie Meyer's kind of crazy. Like she uses the wildest words.
We had
sometimes.
to look up a word.
You guys?
Yeah,
What?
Which was
You guys are dictionaries.
I don't remember what it was now, but it was like with this word, like this sentence, we were like, what is this sentence?
We didn't
You
even
know
know
what
what
she
she was
was
saying.
writing? She was like, let me use a different word.
Pretty
Opens her
much.
dictionary.
It was like some word no one's used. I've never heard anyone alive use that word.
Wow.
So dumb.
So where are you in the book?
They did the meadow scene,
Yeah, they
which,
just
by the
finished the
way,
meadow.
is an entire day in the book.
Yes.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, he just slept over for the first time.
And the outfit he wears is insane. It's
What
a
does he
white
wear?
collared button-up sleeveless shirt.
that he wears unbuttoned the whole effing day.
What?
So yeah, so
Why
he
don't I remember
so
this?
Bella in the morning before their first secret date on a Saturday morning decides to wear a button up sleeveless white shirt, and then she puts a cream colored sweater over top and some jeans.
Wait, so she's wearing the same thing?
Yes.
Yes.
They're both wearing the same
And
outfit as
they
each
both
other.
take off their sweaters before they start hiking. When he takes off his sweater, he's unbuttoned, shirt, chest, abs, hairy nipples, and everything.
In the
All
book, he
day.
does not have hairy nipples.
You said that just
Also-
for Kim. I know you
I know.
did.
I will say this too. Edward is a lot less cringy in the book. There is a lot of weirdness to it still. I don't know.
I mean, it's weird because he's a vampire.
I
but-
can't picture.
And he's miserable.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the things about the book too is I don't picture Shovel Face and Plank of Wood Face. I don't picture those two actors at all.
No.
I didn't either. I still
No
have a
one-
hard time
no
watching
one
the
did.
movies.
No,
No
not
one
even
did.
Stephanie Meyer. Stephanie Meyer pictured Henry Cavill as Edward.
And
Who
the and the girl who was in Sucker Punch and the Unfortunate Events movie.
Oh,
Her.
I love her.
That's who she wanted for Bella.
Okay, that's great.
Right?
Okay, so let me ask you this. They explain his granite skin so much better in the book, and it doesn't twinkle. Did you agree with that?
It does a bit.
Really?
She says it looks like a ton of diamonds.
But I thought I'm like, well, yeah, because his skin is so
But
hard,
it
like
doesn't
granite.
make a sparkle sound.
No.
No, it does not.
No,
And
and, it
never
doesn't
once does she go,
glitter.
Your skin looks like diamonds.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Have
Yeah.
you ever seen granite? Like there are sparkles in it, but it's
Right.
not.
Yeah, so I always, because when they fight in the movies later, like their skin is like granite,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm like, no, it's just less. It's still cheesy, but
real
it's
cheesy.
less cheesy in the book. I thought she explained it a little better.
So Nicole, how have you felt though about Wizard's First Rule?
It's not like Twilight.
No.
It's a truly mature book. I'm not saying that as in like rated mature, although
It
does,
is rated mature.
but that's not what I mean in this particular context. It's mature as in like
Their grown up feelings. with
Problems are
grown-up
bigger and more
issues.
intense, and everything's a lot bigger than like a girl having to walk in the woods with the boy.
right.
Yes.
But there are still some feelings that happen pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, it's true. And because that book is way thicker than Twilight, we're almost like we're halfway through the Twilight book, and we're only like an eighth of the way through the Wizard's First Rule. So
So
I'll get through a lot more books to him than he will to me.
Wizard's First Rule, I read quite a few books. And to date, that is the most well-written book I have ever read.
it's one of my top 5 favorite books I've ever read. There's so much to it. The characters are great. The story is so good.
The villain is horrific. I had
Yeah.
a really hard time.
Well, and that's actually something interesting too. Is if you look at movies and video games and just storytelling today, I feel like they're afraid to make villains evil. They're afraid to like let you side with the villain. So yeah, Wizard's First Rule's fun for Nicole. I'm glad she's liking it. Like
That's good.
We'll reach an end of a chapter and she'll be like, "We could keep going," and that's one of my favorite things because
Those
I
have been our date nights lately. You want to read to me?
Yeah, it's actually
love
been
that.
a great
It's amazing.
experience for us. It's been great for our relationship. It's made us love each other more because I feel like we're both pretty good readers. When we're reading to each other, we both get to like be more impressed with each other's skill. It's
I
really
think it's
nice.
a good skill to have to read out loud because not everyone has the skill to know what a comma is.
Yeah.
Pause, people. Pause at the commas.
And I'm way worse at reading out loud than I am in my head. I think most people are,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and I love it because I love to make voices, so I give each character a voice and
you
keep it the whole time. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, you guys, we're gonna try this. That's beautiful.
This is a bit different. We decided to actually record both of these episodes kind of in one go and then split it up among 2 weeks. So you'll get a part 1 today and then a part 2 next week. And the big reason is that episode 22 is a layup to episode 23. I feel like if this were done nowadays,
It'd be one episode.
Yeah,
They would just
because-
make a long last episode. Like they do that in a lot of shows. Like Good Place had the last episode was like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because why not?
because everything connects to each other, and the first one ends with nothing resolved, nothing done really. It's just kind of like, here's all the setup for the finale. So we thought we'd just kind of go
And we'll cut the recording in half, and then we'll give you the next half next week.
so let's get started.
Season 2, episode 22, Calling.
In this episode, Dr. Walden wakes up from his coma and tells Lex and Lionel that Clark is an alien. And Chloe finds out that Clark and Lana are together. And Lex does some shenanigans. Let's get into it.
I'm so excited.
Oh, wow. So this episode starts with Lex being called into the blue doctor's office. And they're doing a brain scan on Dr. Walden, the comatose archaeologist linguist. The doctor says his brain function is completely normal.
It's back to it. It's not
yeah.
freaky anymore.
And he had to be in an MRI. Have you ever been in an MRI?
No, and I'm glad because I'm a little claustrophobic.
So I had 2 MRIs on my ankle when I broke it doing ballet. And
Did you have to? Did your
sucks.
whole body have to go
No.
in? Okay.
It sucks because I had to do it at 5:30 a.m. I wanted to just sleep, but it's too friggin' loud and it takes forever. It's so loud. Like I kind of wanted some sort of headphones or something to listen to something else because it was so loud. Couldn't stand it.
Well, and I bet it wasn't this mood lighting either. It was probably like bright.
No,
and-
it's so bright. It's like as bright as they could possibly do it. So he's lucky,
yeah.
this Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Walden.
lucky. Did you see him sit up with his white eyes?
His catatonic.
Yeah, he sits up, grabs Lex's wrist, and says, "The day is coming. The day is coming. The day is coming." And Lex is like,
Okay, creep.
So this is kind of one of those things that I hate about the first few seasons.
Okay.
When you start getting with Jarrell and start meeting him, he plays this like antagonist character.
Yes.
And
Does it get better?
Yes.
yes, it does.
Okay.
I feel like they kind of play it off. He was being an antagonist to teach you things, and now he's helping you. So he was like providing with you. Like,
Do we
with-
know that name yet? You said Jor-El. Tell us who Jor-El is.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you've never watched any Superman movie,
Ever.
Jor-El is Superman's father.
yeah.
Kal-El's father is Jor-El.
L is the last name.
Yes, that's a good point. I feel like a lot
Jor
of people
and
don't
Cal.
realize that EL is actually the last name of this
So it's
family.
Cal.
And Jor.
Jor.
Hey, Jor.
House of L.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we get into a really exciting scene following Dr. Walden's surprise little
Yeah,
wiggle.
weird opener, and then we get like a second weird opener.
But here is
Yeah.
the fun part. We get an actual first intentional from both Clark and Lana
I
kiss.
know. It took 2 full seasons.
Yes.
You
They
guys,
have
I
no
didn't
drugs.
believe it. I was like, wait,
Is it a
wait.
dream?
And then I was like, oh, it really happened. And I made Brett rewind it.
to rewatch it again because Kim has so many trust issues from everything that's happened
I
over
couldn't
2
believe
seasons.
it. And it happened so like fast. Like I was like, what? And I had to watch it like 3
Well,
times.
it's funny because there's no drugs involved, no magic involved, and it's not a dream. It's just-
But it
Yes.
is a kind of a birthday.
yeah.
And Lana comes up, lights a candle, and she's like, "It's your birthday." And he's like, "No, it's not. It's just a day my parents picked out on the calendar." And she's like, Get over yourself.
I want to celebrate you being in our lives.
I was like, Lana is here with
I
you.
know, why is he moping?
Yeah, stop moping.
Okay, Daniel, go back to your teenage boy years. A girl comes over, brings you a cake, and it's you one-on-one. It's a girl you like.
If it was the wrong day, would you even?
I don't care if it was 6 months off. Yep, it's my birthday. I deserve a birthday kiss.
I know.
Deserve more than a birthday kiss.
They were up till 2 a.m.
I know. 2 a.m. Woo!
In the barn.
But guys, the kiss was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I don't know. I felt like they were trying to eat each other.
which
That's how they
movie-
kissed in
Yeah.
2002.
It's true. That's the thing I hate about this show is like the intimacy coordinator
The
was,
chewing kisses?
was like, if you're not chewing each other's faces and if you're not opening your mouths, like,
You don't
Right.
like each other if
Yeah.
your tongues don't touch.
You guys, Bryn was sick. We just spent like a whole weekend watching Christmas chick flicks. Okay, it's still like that. They're like, the girls are like, why do they open their mouth and then like eat? Like,
I know.
chew on-
It's so weird.
and it's not like it starts out normal and then slowly intensifies to where
Exactly.
no,
It
that they're-
starts open.
They just suck face straight up.
It's the same thing with Aragorn at the end of Return of the King when he kisses Arwen. He literally goes for the kiss with his mouth cocked open.
He's like, oh,
It's like, let me swallow you.
We're going to have to do just a segment of all the sounds we just made.
They were horrible.
but what I love is the next thing we see after this moment of joy. It's the morning. Clark sees his mom and she's like, "Did you have a good birthday last night?" And he goes, "Are you crying?" And just like smiles at her. And I like that she's like totally on board
Oh yeah.
with
Oh.
it. She's like, "Stay up as late as you want, honey. He'll be fine." Like,
I'm sure nothing happened while you were in the barn
I
alone
mean,
until
Martha
2 in the
made the
morning.
cake probably and was like, "Take it up to it." You know?
Go
I
get
had
him.
some candles.
Get you some, son. Get you some.
Seriously.
Not every child can have a parent backing the person that they like the most, huh?
Are you kidding? When Bryn got her first kiss, you guys, we were in a couple cars over and we were like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna happen!" And then she comes over and we're like, "Tell us everything."
That's so cute.
That's disgusting.
After this cute little moment with Martha and Clark, Lex shows up to the Kent kitchen and he just asks the cutest question. He asks Martha and Jonathan to stand in as his parents at his wedding.
And I didn't know how this would go down. I didn't know how Jonathan would react. So I thought it was so sweet how they answered. And they said yes.
I know, I loved it. And then he's like, "We got next to the table, Clark. You want to bring somebody?" Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, is everyone texting? Like, Martha's like, "Hey, just so you know, hey, Lex."
It happened, Lex.
I know.
Small town.
Word travels fast.
Everyone was
Lana
at
got
the
home
coffee
from
shop.
Clark's at 2 in the morning. Everyone knows what happened.
Except for Chloe,
Yeah.
which leads us into the next scene.
But before we get to the next scene, I want to ask our Smallville virgin, what did you think was going to happen? Did you think that Clark and Lana are finally together and they're going to have time together? Did you think, oh, are they probably going to have something happen that separates them again? Did you think that this was it? What were your thoughts when you got into this episode like this?
So when they finally kissed, I was like, "What? Are you sure this is real?" Right? So then when I got over that, I was like, something's gonna, especially when he was like, "Do you want to bring a second person to the wedding? Like, do you want to bring a date?"
You're like, well, this can't end well.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh no." So no, I thought
Smallville
that-
has damaged you too much. It's not
Yes.
going to let you have the happy thing.
we talk about it too much about my trust issues, but I seriously, at this point, I was like, I don't know. I'm not convinced.
Well, I mean, seriously. So they kiss at minute 4:20.
Okay.
In the in this episode, she tells him it's a mistake at 9:29.
Are you kidding? 5 minutes later?
Yeah, this lasted 5 minutes of
And
total
9
glory.
seconds. 5 minutes and 9 seconds.
And-
you get of them being happy.
This next scene in the Talon is just uncomfortable to me, and
It's so awkward.
Again, just as soon as I'm getting a little bit of redeeming qualities for Lana, I see this. It was a mistake. What? Calm
did
yourself
it.
down, woman.
You baked a whole effing cake.
Yeah, it was her idea.
You had a lot of time to think about this
You
decision.
went up to that loft and you knew what was happening.
Exactly. No girl does that. No girl is like premeditating long enough to make a cake and then take it over to a boy's house and then says, "Oh, that was a mistake. What was I doing?"
No, you find out after the relationship goes south power and you could say that was a mistake.
And
you
then
can
I
look
realize
back,
all of the stuff they've been through, and I'm like, they're all mentally challenged. Like, they have issues.
I know. But thank goodness we got Pete. He's just like, hey, everybody.
Pete's like the only one.
Cutting the tension. He is.
It's so annoying to me what they do with this. But
Okay, on a flip side, and this is for Daniel, Chloe has driven me nuts all season 2, driving me bonkers. But I promise she redeems herself.
oh yeah,
Good.
It feels like the writers in season 2 were like, I don't know if we even want Chloe, or I don't know what their plan was, because it feels weird to me this whole season, especially since, I'm sorry if this is a spoiler that you don't want to hear or something if you haven't watched it yet, but Chloe is literally a character until the end of the show.
Which is so cool.
She does not get written off at any point.
And
So
I'm
season
so
two-
excited for her story because I'm like, right now, you're really just
no,
bugging.
Well, yeah,
Season
and
2
can
is
you
annoying
imagine
Chloe.
8 more seasons of this Chloe?
Right.
It
And
would
so
be
I'm like,
horrible.
there's got to be change, right?
Well, she's barely in it, too.
Yeah, like it's like
Yes.
they kind of were gonna
She
write her
and
off.
Pete are
or-
barely in the season.
So you will get to this point where you're like, Chloe is a great character for the show. She's become such a valuable and good part of the show. Right now, nope.
Yeah.
And then her hair's terrible throughout this season too. It doesn't even get good until the next episode.
After the teens have their awkward moments, and Clark's like, no, we gotta be together. Lex and Helen are at the hospital, and they walk into her office, and it has been ransacked.
Yes.
And the blood is missing. Clark's blood is missing, everybody.
And I, of course, was like, it's Lionel.
Yeah?
Lionel. Oh.
Well, because I was like, who else wants that blood?
I mean, we can just talk about it. Lex took it, and he was with Helen
I could not
on
believe
purpose
this.
as an alibi. Like, well, I was with you. It couldn't have been me.
I don't know why this surprised me so much. I guess I started to get faith in Lex because Helen makes him better.
Well, she does, but he also has all this stuff.
And he tells her, like, I have two parts of me, this good side and this bad side. And that in that moment, the bad side won, and I stole the blood.
Oh, it was so cringy when he tells her.
No. And that's coming.
Okay, so I still have problems though. Why does he?
I
This is a
know.
plot hole. Nobody knows that that's his blood or any blood special. No one knows
It's
it.
not
It's
marked.
just a vial of blood. Why on
Unless
earth?
he only took it because it seems special, because he somehow knows that she's been keeping this blood sample that is unlabeled.
So this is what Lex knows. Martha was sick. Clark got sick. There was no blood until then. Now there's blood in her fridge.
So, and Lex,
I'm in that office all the time.
I mean,
Lex is
he is smart enough.
obsessed and obsessed. He would take the time to notice that, I think.
I think you're right.
And because Clark never went to the hospital, it wouldn't have to be labeled because Helen took it at his house and paid a house call. I'm sure she told him, I went to Clark's house. He was sick. He's just resting.
Oh.
Martha's blood would be taken to the hospital and on file. Any phlebotomist could have taken that blood.
I wonder
it
if
would be
he has
labeled.
searched for Clark's blood samples in the past. Thank you, Nicole, for making up for the show's lack of ability to make this obvious.
Yes. So then we have a scene with Jonathan and Helen talking about the fact that the blood is stolen.
And he's like, why do you still have it?
Now, to
here's the
defend
thing.
her, I think it makes sense. If Clark gets sick again, she's going
Then
to
I'll
want
get some
that.
more blood,
But
dumbass.
I would 100% keep it because I would want to like do tests on it. But I really respected that she would go to their
And tell
house
him.
and tell him.
Yes, disclosing is a good thing.
Yeah.
She didn't have to because it just shows, hey, this person's honest.
And she actually thinks that Jonathan took it.
Oh,
She's like,
that's
"Are
right.
you
She
sure
thinks
you
that
didn't take-"
Jonathan's the
And
one.
he's like, I didn't even know you had it, so I thought you got rid of it.
Yeah. When she brought that up, I was like, oh, did he? Like,
Well, I mean, that would have made sense.
yeah, because Jonathan would do something like that.
We know he breaks the law for his loved ones.
He sure does.
Then we have a moment where Clark and Lex are chilling in the mansion, doing wedding prep or something. Who knows what they're doing? And they're hanging. They're friends. I always forget they're friends.
I
Because
know.
you never see them hang. They're always just like deep conversation for 5 seconds and then split.
That's how dudes are.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, Brett and I won't talk for like a week and a half, and then we have a deep conversation, and then see ya. Bye. Like, that's how it is. That's just dudes.
Well, Clark's telling Lex, I made out with Juan and it was glorious and I felt things I've never felt before, Lex. My heart's all aflutter.
In my wee-wee.
She's already, exactly. But she's all regretful now. And Lex's advice is double down.
Yeah.
She's just looking for a reason to bail. Don't let her. Say what you feel. You said what you felt the other night and it totally worked. Do that again and be firm. And
So this
Clark
is
decides to do that.
Clark
does
does
it.
that, and he does it the same way he's tried to apologize to her in the past or surprise her in the
Yeah.
past. Stand in the middle of a field where she's riding a horse and hope she runs into you.
I mean, that's how I find Nicole.
I just go stand
always
in a
on horseback.
field.
I go and find her cross-stitching station, and I wait for her.
Hey, you at least know where that is. He's just like, she rides a horse somewhere in this field. She might find me eventually.
Hey, he's very fast. If he senses her coming, he could hurry and
Well,
get there.
maybe she's a creature of habit, and she does the same route on her horse every day at
Oh,
the same
sure.
time, and so that's
And Lana's like, but 3 friendships are at stake here. And he's like, we'll be fine. Let's freaking date for real skis.
Yes.
You want it. I want it. Let's make it happen.
It's worth taking the chance. And while he's having this like heartfelt, heart-pleading moment, he hears, the day is coming.
Yes.
The day is coming.
I was like, don't ruin
The day
this.
is coming.
Jor-El or
The day is coming.
Yes.
All dramatic like.
And if anyone is wondering, the voice of Jor-El, if you've seen Get Smart, it's the bad guy on Get Smart. That white-haired, yes, that white-haired guy on Get Smart, the mean bad guy. So
Oh, that's awesome.
there you go. Because that's the face I picture, is that guy.
Yeah. Now
It's-
I will.
isn't he the same guy as the one on Yes Man who gets him to
Yes,
say
that's
yes?
the same guy. Yes,
Yeah,
same guy on
okay.
Yes Man.
He also plays a bad guy in season 10 of Stargate. SG-1.
Ooh. Does he always play the bad guy?
I don't know.
Must be
He's
his
not.
thing.
He's not a bad guy. Like that's the stupid thing about. It's like 3 or 4 seasons of Smallville after you meet Jor-El that you get bad Jor-El for some reason. I can't remember perfectly how it switches, but it does just suddenly kind of switch, and then he's like, "I'm helping you," and Clark's like, "Yay!" Like it's the stupidest.
No, let's play a game called Be a Teenager and see how your parents oppress you. And then all of a sudden you become an adult and you're like, actually, they've been helping me the whole time.
Well, there's that.
Maybe it's Jor-El through his eyes, through
But, like,
Clark's eyes.
Through a parent's eye, would you do the things that happened to Clark over the next 2 episodes from
Krypton
Jor-El?
is a rough and tough town. We brand our children if they misbehave. Corporal punishment to the max.
You guys don't brand your children? How do you tell them
That's
apart?
awkward.
We don't ever forget their last name.
Which litter are they from? We don't know. We gotta brand them.
Whether or not you like Rick and Morty, there's a great quote from Rick in the show where he's like, "I can't even tell you two apart. I just think about you as one of you annoys me more." Essentially, like
That's what our kids would say. They're like, you guys, you know, when couples start to look alike, they're like, that's impossible for you guys, but you say the same things.
that just shows some good unification right there.
Woo woo.
Yeah, I hate The Day Is Coming. And then in the next scene, Dr. Walden gets
Eyes are normal.
yeah,
And he's still repeating, the day is coming.
The day is coming.
And
the day
then-
is coming. The day is coming.
Hey, I'm going to do it for you. And then he spider monkeys his way through the glass.
It was so creepy. And I'm like, what is the day? What day is coming, you guys? What?
The day.
The day.
Dr. Walden uses his magic hand powers that he just developed suddenly.
Am I the only one that felt like Dr. Walden looks really different here than he did earlier in the show? For some
Not
reason,
wearing
he
his
almost,
glasses.
I don't know, it almost felt like a different actor to me just because we take so long in between watching these. That
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, he looks really different all of a sudden.
Clark.
I know what you are.
So I guess Dr. Walden uses his magic hand powers to brand the ceiling with symbols.
Yeah.
And Lexon's like, "Hey, Clark, you want to come to this top secret mental health facility with me to look at these symbols on the ceiling?" And Clark's like, "Howdy do, why not?"
Sure.
Well, all I know is that anytime I'm locked into a room where I'm isolated, I start drawing on the walls and ceilings. I mean, don't you?
Any crazy person does. Of course I do. But listen, here's my thing. Couldn't Clark be like, why would I need to come? I don't know anything about that.
He can't help himself. He's kind of nosy. The symbols say, "I know who you are." And Clark's like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
Who's he talking about?
This is Clark's little tiny investigative reporter on the inside of him banging on the door to get out. That's what gets him into these situations.
Have you guys seen the Zoe Deschanel meme where it's like, wow, now we know why no one can see Clark with know his identity because of his glasses. So she has glasses and
Oh,
bangs
yeah.
and then no glasses.
Yeah, have you ever seen Zoe
We'll
Deschanel
have to
without
post it.
any bangs or glasses? I didn't recognize her.
Completely different
Totally.
person.
And the best thing about Smallville, Kim, and I'm going to give you a fun little tease, and some of our listeners a little tease.
Oh, yay.
You'll get to see the process of Clark developing his two identities.
I'm so excited.
And it is actually a lot of fun.
Yay!
Because if you've ever watched Clark Kent in other Superman stuff, he's heckin' nerdy, right?
Yes.
But our good old farm boy is cool and calm and like he looks like the type of guy who's gonna save the day if you need him. He looks like the type of guy who's gonna be there. He doesn't look nerdy and awkward and weird. He doesn't stumble. He's just a confident striding dude, right?
So does he fake nerdiness?
He's gonna need to figure out how to be different so that people don't recognize him if he comes out into the light. And that's actually a really fun part that you get in Smallville.
Yay!
So you won't get to see that for a while.
All right.
Everybody stick with us.
Probably about a few more years in this podcast.
So Dr. Walden's in the cave. He rearranges the symbols with his hand powers. He like
And a
shifts
lifted
the
lip.
rocks around.
Okay, what is the point of this power that he was given?
That's what I was thinking.
I know what
don't
happens, and I don't know what the point
Oh, that's good.
I think so. Jor-El's obviously using him
Okay.
I guess.
I think it's just to get Clark's attention.
I think it has a lot to do with a future storyline. We can talk about it as we get to it, but I think there's a future storyline that ties into why a human would have the ability to do something like this to Clark.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a future storyline.
I remember
that goes
what you're
down this.
talking about.
And I think that's what this has to do with.
Still hate it. It's like additional things that I'm like, you're just providing adversity for Clark. Do you think he just has an easy life or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we get the most random pairing of characters.
I know.
Lana is pouring her coffee. Helen's working on her wedding seating chart nonstop for weeks. And they have a little chat. Oh, so-and-so's going to sit here. And then they have this little talk about, can you date someone with secrets? And so I thought I'd ask you guys, can you date someone with secrets?
It depends on the human you are. Like, trust is huge for me. So, no, definitely
couldn't.
not. Yeah.
I couldn't.
But some people, that doesn't really matter to them.
No, if you're keeping something big from me and we're like that intimate, I hope we're actually sharing all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Long-term relationship, no.
Yeah.
If you start out with secrets, it's one thing, like as you're getting into it, but eventually you need to share everything.
That's very thoughtful. I think that's right. I don't think a relationship could last with secrets. Yeah.
Yeah, they have to come out eventually or else it'll die. So
And that's kind of what they are talking about, because Lana knows Clark keeps secrets and Helen knows that Lex keeps secrets. And they're both kind of like, what are we doing with our lives? Why are we dating such complicated men?
And can I take a moment just to say, I think that Helen looks best in these two episodes.
Oh, she looks good.
Out of all of it. Like, she looks so good. Just like, it's not like she's got all this makeup and hair work done or something. It's just her. Man,
The
she's
pre-wedding
super pretty.
glow.
Yeah.
The pre-wedding glow. And so our next scene, we have Lionel walking in on Helen, finding Martha Kent's file in Lex's cabinets.
See, I first thought, like, well, Helen can keep files at the house where she lives.
That's what I thought.
But no, she was digging in Lex's stuff and is like, what the Martha?
Yeah.
These are the files that I made on Martha. I didn't give them to Lex.
Yes.
Why does he have them?
This is a flashback to the episode when Martha was sick, and Lex paid the intern for the files at the end of the episode, if you remember this.
Oh,
Lionel sees it and he's planting seeds of doubt, like, well, Lex stole a valuable object from you. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if he knows that or if he just assumes.
Yes.
Like, Lex is a little klepto. I'll just plant the seed even if I'm wrong.
Oh no, that would be difficult because then I'd have to explain that we ran in here while you were going through his cabinet. What? That was a really strange way to go through that.
It's my cabinet. I live here.
Yes.
I can dig
look
through
at
what I
any
want.
cabinet I want.
Lex told me I can be anywhere in this house. That includes here.
But she doesn't. She like capitulates to the secrecy.
Yes.
I don't.
When you spend too much time around the Luthers, you become a weird
She's about
secret
to become
keeper.
a Luther. Huh.
Uh-huh. You become mentally unstable when you hang around the Luthers.
Yeah, this episode's jumping around a ton because right after this we go back to the cave and Clark's down there looking for Walden. He sees that the symbols are all rearranged and he's
guess
like,
who shows up?
And
Lionel.
Lionel's down there. I mean, he owns the caves, I suppose.
Now he does, yeah. He's bought them from Lex.
And that's kind of what he tells Clark, like, they're mine now. And that's all you need to know about that.
And you're not going to be able to come down here so much anymore, is what he says. And I'm like, okay.
This reminds me of a disc that I had in my office. Do you
Yes.
remember? No, I don't.
And he's like, remember when you saved me and your mother?
Remember that time we were all traumatized?
It was just suddenly
you?
gone. Good job, Lionel. You were lying about your blindness. You probably saw it.
Probably.
I didn't even think about that. He saw everything. Oh, ew.
Right? Shady.
Then we cut back to the farm because Clark read this rearranged cave symbols, and it says, "The day is coming when the last son will begin his quest to rule the third planet." And he's like, I peed my pants. I'd be so scared. Because remember when the ship, they put the key in the ship and he like got this whole message about you're going to rule them all, rule these weaklings.
Rule them with strength.
Yes. And so now another message of your quest to
And he thinks he's supposed to be
rule
like
the planet.
a terrible ruler, like a bad guy.
Right. Because I think in America, when we hear the word ruler, it's negative. Not often do we have like a benevolent king.
Yes.
Generally, when we hear ruler, it's more of an oppressive connotation. But maybe that's not the case on
like,
Krypton.
Imagine how good life could be with a truly benevolent, really good king.
Oh, you mean God? It's only possible.
Well, yeah, right. Well, yeah, they say like the best system there is. You know, if you put all the isms and whatever together and stack them up against each other, the truly best system is a king with all power, but who also is all loving and all knowing.
Yes.
That's the only way that it works, because then that person can, and they have to be incorruptible. So you can't have that while we're on Earth.
Here,
so
yeah.
we never get
With
to have
us weakling humans.
Yep. But Clark is close, can become as close as it gets, and that is really the whole point of the show Smallville, is for Clark to become the type of person who can kind of rule the Earth with strength in that he's going to protect the Earth. He's going to be their biggest advocate and helper in every single way. And that's really what it means. And that's the story of Smallville, is
By
Clark
protecting
becoming
one
that.
town from criminals.
Well,
Do it.
eventually he protects the whole world. And I think one of the best portrayals of that is done, oddly enough, in like Batman versus Superman and the Zack Snyder Superman movies, because you see him saving people all over the world.
Yeah.
In like all sorts of countries and everything. And so he is truly a world savior, hero type of thing.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And that's the point of Smallville, is to turn him into that. So he has to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
So yeah,
love
that's your
that.
spoiler to what Jarrell had said. Rule them with strength.
Yes.
Is to
Be a
go
good guy.
and be a good guy for the whole world.
And that's what I assumed.
And I don't know how much of that is a spoiler, because Smallville's goal is to end up essentially
Superman.
where any Superman movie would be. And we know what Jor-El was thinking in the other Superman movies.
Yes,
So
yes.
if you put those two together, it's like, okay, it's just that Smallville does this weird thing for a couple seasons where they're like, let's make Jor-El the antagonist. He's not a villain or a bad guy, but he is an antagonist in ways.
Yeah.
Which there is a big difference. And if you don't know the difference, you should ask ChatGPT to explain it to you using the 80-20 rule.
Then Lex and his dad are hanging out in the mansion because they've been pretty tense lately. And Lionel's saying that he gets the cave and sucks to be you, son. Happy wedding. And then Walden's like, I didn't even get security. I just walked right in somehow. I know that there's an alien and I can read the language, and it's Clark Kent and he's going to rule the planet. We have to go stop him. And he's like, just letting the cat out of the bag.
That cat's
And
coming
then
out.
He says, we got to kill Clark before he destroys us all. And then the security that is terrible at stopping people from entering the building shows up with the tranks that they happen to have and tranks the
Like
doctor.
all security guards have. They just have like horse tranquilizers that they can shoot people with.
Why wasn't he stopped before then?
Yeah.
Why is he allowed to get all the way into the hub where Lex is always at?
Yes. Yes.
Like, where are they doing?
So
what
they-
I love about you, Nicole. You just think about all of this, and I'm like, that didn't even occur to me. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Like, wouldn't it be one thing if they heard he yelling out of the window and
Yes.
he's like, Lex, I know what's going on.
And like security's
And then-
like,
and then
hey,
the-
we've apprehended someone.
And he's like, no, I want to hear what he has to say.
yeah, that's fine. You still get the same scene.
yes.
At least it would be more
Believable.
logical.
Yeah.
one can walk into that place.
Yeah, that is the funny thing about.
Unless he hand nuked them and we didn't see it.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe that's the backup guard that was, like
The Trent guard is like, oh, my, I know what, it's my time.
Yeah, he's like in his little bunk bedroom,
Like playing like Sudoku.
and he's like, wait, what the heck? The other two are gone. Put on my suit real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it took him a minute, because he had to put on his suit and get his tranquilizer gun.
The only thing they'll let him have.
Then we move on away from the mansion and
Back
the
to the barn. Clark is practicing his speech. It's not going well.
Chloe shows up, and she's trying to be like helpful and friend, and she wants the friendship back. And Clark's like, IDK, my BFF Jill, even though you're no longer my BFF Jill.
You guys, Chloe does this face that's the saddest face. It's like she's trying to be happy for Clark.
At
but you can
26:59.
tell, you can tell
She doesn't
just
know,
breaking.
but she doesn't know that they're together yet.
I know, but
And
she doesn't.
they haven't decided, because Clark and Lana haven't decided to officially give it a go. They're still like in limbo land. And so they're not going to tell Chloe that anything's happened. And so it's just strained and horrible.
And she's just trying to be there for him, but it's so hard for her. Oh, it's sad.
Bleh.
I know. But she acts really well. Her facials are really good.
And then it's the rehearsal dinner.
Yep.
And Lex fills Clark in on Walden. Like, just so you know, crazy Dr. Walden showed up. Don't worry, my third guard tranked him. And we got him, but he wants to kill you. And he thinks you're an alien. And Clark's like, no kidding.
Oh,
That's
weird.
crazy. Oh,
Well, that's psychotic.
that blows my mind.
I ain't no alien. Like, this is one of the better times, I guess. Clark plays off something and keeps a secret.
Yes.
He has good times and bad times with it all.
So the dinner went well.
Yeah, seems to be fine.
Yeah.
It's pretty short. Happy day.
I thought the speech was really cute.
And Lionel wasn't invited. And so we have this like, meanwhile,
He's doing his dirty work.
he meets Chloe at the torch.
Sorry, this
At
is
night?
creepy, man.
Okay, every encounter they have from here on out is alone in a dark room.
It's not good.
And I'm like,
It's because
guys,
it's supposed to be like villainous, and it's
I
like,
get it, but it's
Are you
creepy.
trying to make Chloe like become a villain and do a villain arc now? Like, what the heck were you thinking, writers? I don't really know. I would love to hear what their whole idea was.
Yeah.
Behind this,
Right. Lionel's like, hey, will you do a full report on Clark and give me every dirty deet you ever had on him? She's like, I have some pictures of us at the spring formal. Like, what is she going to give him at this point?
Well,
Not a
and
lot.
he does it as like, you get this column at the Daily Planet if you do, and she gives that up.
She says no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a
first.
huge deal for Chloe. At first, you butthole.
It goes back and forth for me. As we get into it, we'll talk about it. But yeah, she's being a really good friend right now.
Yeah.
That-
Well, that's
which I
because
think
she hasn't been
Chloe
betrayed
is.
yet in her eyes,
Well, 'cause
right?
in her mind, there's still a chance. They're not together.
Right.
We can still be together.
Here's the thing. Even if Clark and Lana are together, at least Clark can be nicer to Chloe about it than he ends up being.
I know.
And so, stupid. I don't like how they do it, but whatever. What you gonna do?
I know.
Then the next part of the episode just goes kind of off the rails. We're in an ambulance quickly, and Dr. Walden wakes up and uses his magic hands to kill everyone in the ambulance.
I know.
And then Clark's at the rehearsal dinner.
Oh, here's where he makes his
He
speech.
gives a speech,
Yeah.
and it's a speech for Lana, and
Yes.
she is receptive. She likes it. But after that, the buzzing is back. That tumor-inducing buzzing.
Yes.
And
he freaks out.
How did you describe it, Nicole?
Two beams of light arguing while chewing ice.
Exactly.
Wow, she had that ready to go off the top of her
Yeah.
little head.
I just edit the episode where we.
That's true. That helps, doesn't it?
So Clark runs. He's like, I gotta go get my aspirin or whatever excuse he uses. Leaves the rehearsal dinner early. Runs to the barn. The key is missing. Oh no!
Yeah.
But Dr. Walden is there. He's in the barn.
And then he's like, I'm going to get rid of you and blah, blah, blah. And then he uses his magic hands on Clark, lifts him up into the air.
Yes.
And then
Clark is like-
when Clark falls, he like makes a huge, like right into the ground, like a big old divot. It's so funny to me. But
and so they have this like weird superhero battle, sort of. It's like the most supernatural thing we've seen.
yeah, after Clark uses his heat vision to hit Walden on his shoulder and then he drops, he hits the ground so hard that he makes a dent in the earth.
Hey, he's made of sparkly granite too, okay?
I guess so. He must be very heavy.
But then Dr. Walden's like, I'm gonna get you, Clark. And so Clark runs, and Dr. Walden like follows Clark's movement with his magic hand of light and hits the farm's ginormous tank of gasoline.
Yes.
And boy, is the explosion big.
I know.
So big, in fact, that when Clark reemerges from hiding,
It incinerates.
the doctor is so crispy.
No. Hold on. You got to go back and look at this because it's too much fun. This is too much fun.
You see his crispy hand.
No, more importantly, yes, he's burned to a crisp. I want you to notice his skin is all burned and singed.
But his
clothes are just fine.
No one wants a crispy naked guy.
Like, don't worry, your suit will be just fine, but every inch of your skin will be
Hey.
completely singed.
Maybe he had a flame retardant suit.
Or maybe it's that when his arguing, chewing ice beams of light hits the fire, it reverberates some counteractive reaction
Through
back
his
at him and
Yeah.
then crisps his skin
That was
only.
it. That was it.
Genius.
Maybe.
Doesn't melt his clothes at all.
Right. It only gets his skin.
I love it.
Except for the spot where he's holding the key.
Yes.
And so Clark gets the key, and luckily for, whoever recovers the body, the key is now imprinted, just like the stupid thing in Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
This is literally the plot of Indiana Jones for a minute.
That's so true.
For the thing
Use
that
his
goes in the
hand to
stab.
recreate it.
Yes. Lionel's like, cut off the hand. I want it.
Yeah, Lionel's literally like, I've seen Indiana Jones. I know what to do here.
Crazy. But we're at the mansion. It's after the party. Helen is quiet. Lex is like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And they basically have a very true heart-to-heart of, Lex, why do you have this file?
Yes.
He explains it away, but she's like, you know what? This is a get out of jail free card. Do you want out? And they're both kind of at this like moment. Are we going to do this or not? You can walk away. And so we don't know what they're going to decide at this point. And that's kind of how we leave that episode up in the air. Then we leave Dr. Walden's death, the hand being taken up in the air. And then Lana goes to see Clark. Mm-hmm. No mention of the huge explosion. No mention of the hole in the barn wall. They're just in that same barn.
Yeah.
Barely a care in the world.
It was the back of the barn, not where his little loft is. So.
So she didn't even see it.
And she liked his toast.
Yeah.
So that was good.
When you said toast right there, for a second I was like, wait, was there a time when he gave her some toast,
toast?
earlier?
His speech. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
His
No,
speech.
it's good.
And so
I
she-
loved her. I loved her early 2000s dress with her shawl.
And her like slightly messy, slightly done hair.
Yep.
Typical early 2000s. It looks good. She looks really good in this moment.
Yeah.
for
And I guess
sure.
they have a moment, and I guess she just like leaves because Clark hears a voice that says, "Kal-El, it's time." And then he walks into the storm cellar all glowy, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Do you notice that every time Lana gets to kiss Clark, and it's when she wants it in this show,
Yes.
she looks like she is about to be fed a meal for the first time in 17 days.
She's got
She is
hungry eyes.
Yeah, she's got hungry face. She looks like she craves what's about to come.
Her lips, have you ever noticed they quiver right before they kiss? Like, oh.
What's that sound, babe?
Here's the thing. He's like her own personal brand of heroin.
He died in Twilight!
Wow.
This is a life-changing moment. Let's all take a moment of silence. That was good. Okay.
So
I've done my job, you guys.
let me
You've done your job.
let me
This
tell
is a
you,
momentous
Stephanie Meyer
occasion.
was watching Kristen Krug's face every time she kissed Clark and was like, my
Yes.
character needs that. What will make my character feel that? And then she wrote the whole thing about how each other's smells pulls them in. And I have a lot of questions about that, but that can be for another time.
later.
So, yeah, we reached the end of this episode with kind of nothing happening, sort of a lot of things happening.
So, okay, so with that, before we, move into our next episode, want to know, how would you rate this episode?
I'm interested
This
what
one,
you guys
I don't
think.
think you can because you have to have both pieces. You have to have 22 and 23 because this one is boring all by
So
itself.
should we wait
Nothing
and
happens.
rate
So
them?
yeah, let's maybe rate them at the
together?
end.
Okay.
Okay.
I love it.
And listeners, let us know what you think of this first episode, or if you feel like you need to rate them together yourselves. Thank you for remembering Smallville with us. Join us next week when the day is coming, the day is coming, the day is coming.
Four friends on a mission: Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. Talking Smallville every week. The podcast a gem. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. In their world we find our thrill. Heroes fly and legends grow. Stories shared, they make it flow. From Clark Kent to Lex's schemes, they uncover every dream. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. In their world we find our thrill. He watching tales of old. Their voices pure gold. Every twist, every turn. With them there's much to learn. Smallville nights we laugh out loud. Every week they make us proud. Daniel, Nicole, Brad, and Kim. In their world